If you've ever felt your heart racing before a portrait session, stumbled over your words when talking about pricing, or avoided a networking event because you're just not good with people, you're in good company. I hear this from photographers every single day. Most of my students describe themselves not just as introverted, but even shy or awkward, especially when it comes to the business side of photography. But here's what might surprise you. Being introverted isn't actually holding you back. In fact, it might be your biggest business advantage, and you don't even know it yet. One of my students, Audrey Terrace, because she was an introvert, started out terrified to even invest in herself. Yet within weeks, her results completely blew her mind. I'll share that story with you later in this video. But first, I want to show you why being awkward or introverted isn't a disadvantage as a portrait photography business owner. It's actually your secret weapon that can help you outperform the loudest, most extroverted photographers in your market. Okay, maybe that's me. Because listen, unlike landscape photographers or commercial photographers, we're dealing with crying toddlers, awkward teenagers, multiple generations, and family dynamics, all while making sure they get along so we can create beautiful artwork. And as an introvert, your natural ability to listen, to empathize, to make people comfortable is exactly what these families are desperately looking for. By the way, if you're new to my channel, my name is Sarah Petty, and I'm founder of the Photography Business Institute. I've helped over 33,000 portrait photographers grow a family-first business. And my students have made over $32 million in sales in the last 6 years. And I can tell you that many of them are introverts. Let's start with the energy drain myth. Yes, introverts lose energy from social interactions, but knowing that, I think, sort of makes you more intentional with every interaction. Portrait sessions require deep connection, not surface level chatter. Your natural inclination to listen more than you talk makes clients feel heard and valued. I made a list of some hidden advantages that you probably don't even realize you have. Shy, quieter photographers don't blather on mindlessly. You're thoughtful and purposeful, and really you're better listeners for your clients. And because you're naturally empathetic, you understand what it feels like to be uncomfortable. You think before you speak, leading to more meaningful, intentional communication. Here's the part that's important to hear. You're really great at following systems when you know what to say. That's sort of, I feel like, the missing link, because you already have the skills that good portrait photography requires. You're good at making people feel comfortable. You know what it feels like to be awkward. You have great patience. Your deep listening skills make clients feel understood, and you're really good at paying attention to emotional cues because you can sense when someone's uncomfortable. Think about it this way. When a mom brings in a toddler who's having a meltdown, or when a teenager just doesn't want to be there, your ability to empathize and stay calm is exactly what that family needs. The loud, high energy photographer might think the best way to mitigate this situation is just to hype everyone up, and that can sometimes create more overwhelm. But you create a safe space where people can relax and be themselves. So you might be thinking, okay, Sarah, but I still don't know what to say. Let's talk about that, okay? Here's the real problem, and it's not your personality. I promise you that. It's about not having the right systems. Since the internet has changed everything and information is readily available everywhere, especially with AI, it's about knowing what advice to take and who to listen to that will get you the results so that you know exactly what to say. That's all you need. When you're consuming random information from Google and ChatGPT, you have to figure out what the right answers are. And I know from teaching so many introverts that you just want to know what to say. What I've learned from teaching so many photographers is the biggest limiting factor when it comes to the success of your business, it isn't an external factor like I don't have enough time or I don't have enough money. Typically, photographers blame themselves for internal reasons like I'm not good enough, or I don't have the right personality, or I wasn't made to be an aggressive business person. And I see this all the time with photographers thinking if they were just more bubbly or more outgoing or had more followers on Instagram, then they'd be successful. But I want you to hear me. That's simply not true. Let me explain why all you need are systems, because they're the perfect solution for introverts. They remove the guesswork from social interactions. Systems provide structure for uncomfortable conversations, like discussing pricing. Scripts build confidence through repetition and practice. That allows you to focus your energy on serving your clients, not figuring out what to say. Having the right words to say is like having the answers to the calculus test before you walk in the room. If you know what to say, you don't have to worry about it. If this is resonating with you, I have a gift I want to give you. Okay. If starting conversations with strangers feels overwhelming, I created this for my introvert students and I want to give it to you because I know it can help you. It's a guide called Matchstick Conversation Starters, right? Because it only takes one spark to start a conversation that can lead to a great client that comes back year after year after year for the rest of their lives. And that can change everything. So I put together some questions and conversation templates designed for a shy, awkward, or introverted photographer. And I'll stick that link in the description for you. The truth is, you don't need to change your personality, my friend. You need to change your approach. I want you to lean on frameworks and systems. It's not personality dependent to be successful in business. When you have a system that tells you exactly what to say and when to say it, you being an introvert becomes an asset because you're naturally more thoughtful about following a system. Like in the sales presentation, you have a 1 hour window to help your clients select their images. And sometimes we extroverts talk, and the client hits that window of decision fatigue. And then they get paralysis by analysis and they say something like, "Can I go home and think about it?" That doesn't happen to the introverts nearly as much because they're just following the script that I give them. Let me share how this has happened with one of my students, because when you see it in real life, I think it helps you apply that to yourself. I have a student named Audrey Terrace, and I want to share her transformation because it's going to blow your mind. She was an introvert and she had 20 years plus of experience in business, but she was stuck getting $400 to $600 sales. She was terrified of spending the money on her business education because she just figured, this is all I can do. I don't want to talk to people more, right? Because if you want to get higher orders, you've got to talk to people. So she was hiding behind digital files, but she found a way to make the investment, and she had gotten her investment back times 3 before the end of Boutique Breakthrough, which is our 2-month coaching program. So she got her first sale over $1,000 right at the beginning. During that same 2-month time period, get this, she had 10 total sales, all of them over $1,000, some reaching over $3,000. And here's the key. We didn't make her change her personality. She just followed my system. It's funny because in my coaching program, we have our leaders take a personality assessment, and the personalities are spread across all personality types. We have extroverts and we have introverts. Same with our students who have passed the 6-figure barrier. I looked at all of their personality assessments and I can see that their personalities are all over the board, which proves that success in business is not personality dependent. It's system dependent. I always tell my students, having conversations with clients and potential clients is a skill that anyone can learn, even introverts, right? And you can be great at it, but you have to get the system and you have to be willing to practice. Think about it this way, my friend. The better you get, the fewer conversations you have to book the right clients to make more money, because you're going to be persuading them faster and getting higher orders, which means you can hang out in the quiet more. What Audrey learned is what every successful portrait photographer learns when they get a system. It's not about being the loudest person in the room. It's about having the right conversation at the right time with the right words. So what are those conversations? What are the actual skills that matter? Let me break that down for you, because there are 3 most important skills that portrait photographers need to master. And notice how your introverted nature will help you with all three of these. Okay, first is the marketing conversation. Listen, a lot of people think they can just put an ad or something out there, send people to a landing page, people will sign up with your form, and then boom, you've got all these magic clients. And if you want the right clients that come in and allow you to leverage your time and get higher orders for the small amount of time you're investing with them, you've got to be able to talk to people. And that is marketing. Marketing isn't a magic button, and it doesn't happen by simply posting now booking on Instagram. You've got to build relationships. You've got to become known in your community. And authenticity beats fake enthusiasm every single time. This means talking to people, and your genuine care for your clients is what creates raving fans. The soft skills you're naturally good at, including building genuine relationships, not just handing out business cards and networking, but cultivating real connections. I really think that introverts are so much better at processing before responding, which makes every word you say so powerful. You're able to persuade by carefully choosing your words and not resorting to aggressive, pushy sales tactics. You're also so intentional about your energy and where you put it. So that's why it's more important for you to make every interaction count. Second is selling. This is having conversations with that lead to both upfront book them and then to help them order wall portraits at the end of the process. I see a lot of photographers try to avoid selling by giving all the digital files away. And friend, that's not going to build a life that you want. Hopefully you're on my channel listening to these things. You figured that out. And if you haven't, I really want you to hear me. To run a successful business where you can put family first and have a life, you've got to have a session fee and persuade people that they're going to invest in the session fee. But also there's an assumption of sale that they're going to order later. And listen, your listening skills are such an advantage here because extroverted photographers might talk over their clients' concerns. You can follow a system and help them see what they want to order. You're photographing less, you're getting more artwork for them to buy in way less time, getting bigger orders, and your life rocks. The biggest jump I've seen with my photographer students who are introverts is when they're given scripts and a framework to follow. They can rely on that and not stepping into a personality that's not theirs and that, quite frankly, it shouldn't be. You are who you are and you're perfect. And I'm telling you, once introverts know what to say, practice it a few times, they've got all the confidence they need. Role play has become such an important part of our process with students because I understand you want to know what to say. And once you practice it a few times in a safe environment, you build the muscle memory for all of those hard discussions and any objections that may come at you. Listen, you reduce anxiety through preparation. Just like I talked about earlier, you go into the calculus test knowing the answers and how to get them, you're completely confident. So if you're going into a sales situation and you don't know the answer to the questions, this is your skill gap and will keep you stuck. So I want you to know that that's where you need to focus. Not on changing your personality, not on getting all peppy and talking all the time, but on simply knowing what to say to answer any question that your clients could ask of you. And then third is photographing. Listen, I know you're already great at creating emotional images that people want. Your empathy here helps you connect with your clients on a deeper level. You're not just taking pictures, you're saving those memories for them to have forever. So what you want to learn here as an introvert is to throw in a few key phrases that make the sales presentation easier. I teach my students to say things like you're photographing and you say, "Whoa, that just gave me goosebumps. This is the image that's going to look stunning over your mantle." Fewer words, more impact. You just sold that piece of artwork without any pushy salesy tactics. So when you know exactly what to say, being shy or being an introvert doesn't hold you back, and you don't need to be awkward anymore because you can have any conversation with anyone. And this actually makes you more authentic because you're not winging it and just guessing. You know what to say, and you're not forced to have verbal vomit like some of the extroverts have, where we just blah, blah, blah when we get nervous and don't know what to say. And I know what some of you are thinking, but Sarah, what if I just can't do this? I want to give you some tough love mixed with encouragement because I am the ultimate optimist, but I'm also a realist. And I want to give you some hard truth. And I'm going to be direct with you because I care about you. And when you're picking a coach, you want to pick a coach who's going to not just tell you everything is sunshine and roses. Listen, if you don't want to learn to talk to people about how amazing, beautiful artwork will look in their home and persuade them to hire you versus the cheaper person down the street, you might consider not owning your own business and simply working for someone else. There is no shame in that. I have 2 photographers who work for me and they're super happy with their life. But the price of admission to having a thriving photography business where you can make more in less time and have the freedom and flexibility to decide where you go when and not having some boss tell you that you can't go to your kindergarten's performance today. The price to admission for that is learning how to get clients to come to you and pay you money. Yes, as an introvert, as a shy person, as an awkward person, as a scared person. These are the skills you have to learn that afford you the opportunity to make more money with your time. That's why we go into business, to leverage our time, not to have a minimum wage job. But with that said, I want you to know this. If you're able to make people comfortable during a photography session and you're willing to stretch your comfort zone, you can do this. Selling and persuading other people is a skill, meaning you can learn it. It's not a talent that you're born with, but you have to be willing to do the learning and the practicing. Your sensitivity or your shyness or whatever you're using to describe yourself that's kept you from going fully for your dreams, it's not a weakness, my friend. It's what your gift is. It's what helps you connect with families. Your listening skills aren't a limitation. They're what makes your clients feel heard. Your empathy is exactly what set you apart from other photographers who just focus on the technical skills. So here's the choice in front of you. You can either invest your time and money in learning these skills, or you can work for someone else who has them. But if you're willing to put in the work, your introverted nature can become your biggest competitive advantage. Think about it this way. In a world full of photographers who are all shouting, "Look at me," the one who quietly says, "Tell me about you," is the one who wins. And that's you. The families you're meant to serve aren't looking for a performer. They're looking for someone who cares, someone who listens, and someone who makes them feel comfortable enough to be themselves. That's what you do naturally. So my friend, thanks for watching and being a part of our movement to lift this industry. Remember, go below and grab those conversation starters that I put in the description. They'll give you the exact words to say in a few situations so they can get you unstuck. And remember, starting conversations doesn't have to be hard. It is a learnable skill. And being an introvert isn't what's holding you back. It's preparing you to serve the right clients in the right way. You just need to learn a system that is repeatable so that you always know what to say. Then you'll go into every interaction with so much confidence. The world needs more of you, my friend. Do the work, and I'll see you in the next video.